morning. It's Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. My name is Terry Morgan, and we are here to practice Tai Chi. Had a little technical snafu just a minute ago, and so I'm a minute or two late. Apologize for that. We have this week working on the connections between. And I've talked about this quite a bit. We're going to talk about it some more. This is the point at which one movement ends and the next begins. The point at which one part of the breath ends and the next begins. If you inhale, at a certain point you got to stop inhaling. Your lungs get full, you're happy, you stop inhaling, and then you exhale. And at a certain point after you exhale, you're going to inhale again. It's a natural cycle, right? As we practice our Tai Chi, we have that, we want that breath and movement connection. We also want to pay attention to where those changes happen. Not only so that we can better coordinate the breath and the movement, but so we can find how those changes can be, I'm going to say it, manipulated. We can change the changes, right? I showed this yesterday with brush knee. Brush knee, step up, handstring the lute. Brush knee, step up, needle at C bottom. Brush knee, shift back, step through, deflect downward, parry, and punch. All from brush knee. Those changes, how we get from one to the next, matter. It's not only the movement itself. Brush knee, certain requirements, certain things we need to do with brush knee. But how do we get into it? I didn't talk about that yet. How do we get to whatever's coming next? That's what I've been focused on this week. So let's practice. We'll do a little bit of our stretches. We'll do a little bit of our walking exercise, and then we'll practice a form, and I'll go back through a little bit more on this concept of brush knee and how we get from one to the next. I'm going to put on the nice music for the stretches here. And yeah, that's my old people walk. I got up early this morning and I've been doing a few things and puttering around the house, and that's my old people puttering walk. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Shoulders down and relaxed. Feet about shoulder width apart. Pull up through the front. Pull in. Pull up through the back. Straighten and relax. Open the shoulders. Bend the knees just a little bit. Grip the floor inside of your shoes. Grip just a little bit with your toes. Tuck the chin slightly. Breathe in. Hand circle to the front. Outward stretches. Up along center line. And reach out. Pull in, reach out. Engage the whole body. And relax. one goal is to use only those muscles that you need to use at this particular time, in this particular move, to do what you need to do. Follow the circle. Reach out. Focus on the space between the hands. Roll up. 2 more. Reach out. And roll up. Last time. Keep your shoulders down. And stretch up. Elbows drop down. Wrists, fingertips, follow your fingertips down. Reach out, bend the knees, use the legs to raise the body. Pull in through the abs, support the spine. Reach out, use the legs, and stretch up. Roll down. Pull up and in through the abs. Open the spine. Pay attention to the space between the vertebrae. Relax. Follow the circle. Keep the shoulders down. 2 more. Last time, follow the fingertips, roll down, pull up, roll down. And come to center. Turn around. And circle hands front. Back to both sides. Up along the center line. Turn to the left. Reach out. Circle. Follow the circle. Open the hips. Support the legs. Open the hips. And use the legs to support the legs. Open the hip. Use the abs and your spine to support your torso. And center. Turn to the right. Bend the knees. Follow the circle. Keep the knee over the toes. That means the inside part of the thigh has to push outward. One more time. Come to center. And hands down. Both hands return to the sides. Okay, I want to do our walking sets, and then I'm going to focus a little bit more today on this idea of these connections. As we were going through these stretches, I was talking about opening the spine, opening the hips, and I've repeatedly talked about focusing on the space between the hands. I'm going to connect this with the Taiji, Laozi's concept of a bowl, that having the structure around the bowl, that there's a shape and there's form to the bowl matters. The space in the bowl also matters. It's not enough to have a bowl that you can't put anything in. You can carve a bowl out of wood and make it flat on the top so that you can't ever put anything in it. There's no use to it. It's not really a bowl, it's a block of wood. If you carve out the inside and create space, now that block of wood that's shaped into a bowl has usefulness because there's space there. Something can go in. It's useful. I can put something in there. I can leave it open so that it's ready to receive something if I want to put something there. We want to do a similar kind of a thing, this idea of opening, with all of the joints in the body. Okay? When we're born, the joints are normally very pliable and we can move around. We can do pretty much anything we want. As we get older, we can't. Opening the joints, using the breath in a relaxed, easy movement, which is what we're doing with the stretches, gives the body the chance to restore. It's not magic, this is what our body likes to do. Restore that balance. So if we've got tension, let's say I've got tension in my neck and my shoulders are doing this, then back in here and back all the way back in through here, there's something that is not open. If it's not open, it can't move freely. It can't participate in the movement the way that it would if there were not that tension there naturally. So release the tension, open the neck spine. Not only does that give the chi the chance to flow through, but at a physical level, it does exactly this what I'm talking about, which is to allow the joints to open so that they move more naturally with the breath, building up the resiliency that we lose with age. Walking sets. enough. There are times when I tend to talk too much. Feet about shoulder width apart. Shift to left, open right. Hip over the heel. Release the left, circle through. Place it. And transfer. Turn. Step through. And turn back. Turn the toes in. Step behind. Where you put your toes matters. Shift. Turn. And yeah, I'm taking bigger steps than I normally do. Last one, put it down to the side. And straight. Okay. This concept of these connections and how they work together, how we open the body and create that space, is part of this idea of we're changing yin to yang, yang to yin. At that point where it changes, we should be open. It's a physical and open to the next, right? It's a physical and a mindfulness requirement that as we are moving through the postures and the form, we keep in mind what we are doing now and what we are doing next. All right, let's pay attention to that. Focus on where we transition to the next movement. Feet together, stand straight, pull up through the crown of the head. Relax the breath, relax the body. Bend the knees just a little bit. Smile. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, salute. Breathe out. Breathe in. Pull up the back. Breathe out. Down the front, sink to the lower dantian. And breathe in. Breathe out. Press down. Shift left, open right. Step through. Ward off left side, pull down right side. Turn. Step through. Ward off right side, pull down left side. Turn. Grasp the bird's tail, ward off. Pull down. Press. And push. Turn. Single whip. Turn. Raise your hands. Bring both hands in. Circle. And turn. Turn the foot. White crane spreads its wings. Turn. Brush knee. Step up. Hands from the loop. Turn. Brush knee. Shift back. Deflect downward. Parry. And punch. Shift back. Close the door. Turn. Crossing hands. Turn. Diagonal brush knee. Grasp the bird's tail. Pull down. Press. Push. Turn. Turn the right toes in. Press out both hands. Turn. Fist under the elbow. Reach out. Step back. Push back the monkey. Pull in. Turn. Diagonal flying. Shift back. Both hands in. Raise your hands. Turn. White crane spreads its wings. Turn. Brush knee. Step up. Needle at sea bottom. Yes. And step through. Fan through the back. Turn. Hold a fist. And chop. 1, 2, 3. Deflect downward. Parry. Step through. Punch. Shift back. Ward off left side. Pull down right. Step through. Ward off right side. Pull down left. Ward off right. Pull down. Press. Push. Turn. Single whip. Turn. Palms up. Turn the left toes. Bring your right foot parallel. Hands down along both sides. Stand straight. Left foot closes in. Salute. Okay, this idea, relax for a minute. This idea of connection between. Where is the point that one movement ends and the next one begins? It's at that point we have an opportunity to change, right? The nature of what we're doing at that point. We're changing from one to the next. I talked about this a bit yesterday with the idea that there is a logic to the way that Tai Chi moves. Irrespective of style, there is a flow and a logic to the way that the movements are connected. So some things will lend themselves to multiple opportunities where others may be a little bit more limited. All right? That's why we practice the forms. That's what the form gives us. That's that's what each form gives us, is what can we do next. It's not this must happen here. We learn that Okay, this is a little bit more advanced practice here. So we learn that. We learn the sequence. Okay, so I'm going to do this first, I'm going to do this second, I'm going to do this third, I'm going to, and so forth and so on, all the way through to, in my case, the 103 or 108 moves in the traditional forms. So what do I do now? What do I do next? The form gives us that. When we start to practice less, this is the sequence of the form, and more this little bit more abstract, all right, what's the form telling me I can do, and how might that work, right? That's what I'm talking about now. That's what I was talking about yesterday, that's what I'm talking about today, is how do we look at the form beyond step one, I'm here, and then step two, I'm going to open, right? That has to be there. If we don't have that, we can't do anything else, right? What's next? Well, this idea, multiple things can come next. In today's class, we're talking about the idea of that connection. So again, I'm going to just show I'm going to go this way. Show this really briefly. So we have brush knee. I'm already going this way. So what am I going to do next? Well, I can keep going this way or I can go back. Pretty much my two options. Going this way from this stance, no. Going this way from this stance, no. I'm not placed correctly to do that. My options are forward and back. Now, if I need to adjust myself so that I could go side to side, great. But from this stance, not going to happen. So, forward brush knee, logical to continue, and for both hand strum the lute and needle at C bottom, we have that step up as we pull down. This isn't out there waving at people. Okay? This is, I got something and I'm going to pull on it. There are applications behind this. Yes, there are. All right, so as I step through, there's little pull down here. Pull down. Pull in. Pull into the leg that you step up to. Right? So, right leg is back. I'm here. Push from the heel, right? Push down into this leg. This leg supports 6-4 standard Taiji stance. As I step forward, I'm going to transfer all of my weight to my front leg, but I'm not standing up. It stays down. Back leg comes up to join at the heel. I didn't do anything with this. I just left it sitting there. All right? I just left it there. All right, so I'm here. Reach forward a little bit more and pull in and down with the right hand for both hand strum the lute and needle at C bottom. The left hand is going to come up. What it does next makes the difference between the two moves, right? So, step up, left hand, hand strum the lute. Right? This hand's looking for my opponent's elbow. This hand's got the wrist. I'm looking for the elbow. So, there's a little bit too, you want to be proportional to your own body. So, not too big, not too small. Elbow, wrist. All right. Left hand again. Brush knee. Needle at C-bottom. Step up. Left hand circles, but instead of continuing up, it turns over to go down with the right hand. From here, step up, needle at C-bottom. Still got that pull. Still there. Left hand up and down. There's another potential thing to do here on the ground, but I'm not going there right now. And then step through. So the connection between what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Which move? Which one? Right here is where I decide. That point gives me the opportunity to move to whatever is coming next. There's a couple other ways to move through to the next move, right? But I'm using this as an example so that we can pay attention to this idea of at what point during a movement, during this process, at what point during these connections does one movement end and the next begin? And where does that happen? I'm going into detail here. Where does that happen and what does that look like? Okay. For brush knee here, shift back. I still have some sense of coming in, right? In and down. There's a possibility for this particular move, for my choice, would not be necessarily to use pull down here, but it's possible, sure. Deflect downward. That's what the move means. That's what the name's there for. Deflect downward. Either sideways or directly down with the wrist. You get to the point here where it is down. This is deflect downward. Alright. Parry. Right? And come again. As I transition, I'm here. Right? For this one, my transition, my choice of which movement am I going to do is here. Previously, it was here. I could do handstrom the loop. I can do needle at C-bottom. That's where my choice happened. I step up. Here's my choice. Here's my point where I make that choice. Deflect downward, my point of choice is here. Am I going to continue forward? Am I going backward? In this case, I'm going backward. As I go back, foot turns out so that I can step through. Okay? So, one more time. Pay attention to the connections between and that space between the movements. Feet together, stand straight, pull up through the crown of the head, tuck the chin, open the neck spine, open the shoulders, bend the knees, open the lower back, relax the hips, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, salute, breathe out. Breathe in, all the way to the right, open left, breathe out, center. Focus on the space between the end and the beginning, the end of one, beginning of the next. As one ends, the next starts. Where is that point? As you move through each of the postures in the form, where is that point? That one begins its change into the next. Single whip. Raise your hands. Turn. White crane spreads its wings. Turn. Brush knee. Forward. Step up. Hands strung the loop. Turn. Brush knee. Shift back. Deflect downward. Step through, parry, step through, punch, shift back, close the door, turn, crossing hands. My cats would like some attention. And turn, diagonal single whip, or diagonal brush knee. Grasp the bird's tail, pull down. Again, where's that connection? Where's the change? Where does the change happen? At what point have you reached the fullest extent of the movement, the fullest extent of the breath? Whether it's breathing in or breathing out. Push back the monkey, hold the ball, step behind, diagonal flying, don't run into the wall, shift back, raise the hands, turn, white crane spreads its wings, turn, brush knee, step up, needle, let's see bottom. Step through, bend to the back, turn, hold the fist, and chop. 1, 2, 3, deflect downward, parry, step through, punch, shift back, ward off, step through, ward off, turn, ward off, pull down, press, and push. Turn, single whip, turn, both hands open, palms up, turn the left toes, bring the right foot parallel, hands down along both sides, stand straight. Left foot comes in, salute, stay there, breathe in, breathe out. Relax. Okay, so keep in mind this idea of connection. We're working on it again tomorrow. It's my theme for this week. All right, this idea of we have certain postures that require a certain shape, certain form, that have an application, that do it right. Everything we do has certain things that they're supposed to be present. If they're not, it's something else, right? So having that physical aspect to the movement, now we want to add not only what movement are we doing, but that space between. Maybe you can think of it as a road trip, right? I've arrived in Kansas City and I'm going to go to Chicago. My next stop on my road trip is Chicago. I've arrived in Kansas City. Here I am. I'm doing Kansas City. I got some barbecue lined up. I'm going to do this. Oh, hometown, right? So I got some things lined up, and I'm going to go to Chicago next, right? How am I going to get there? I know what posture I'm at now. I know which movement I'm doing now. I know which movement I'm supposed to do next in the context of this particular form. How do I get there? That piece of the road, that's what we're talking about. I hope this is useful. I know that it should be, but I'm hoping that my presentation is clear enough and that it's useful enough that other folks, even if you're not practicing this particular form, that other folks will be able to take this concept and apply it to their own practice. Again, I thank you for being here today. I will be here tomorrow, more Tai Chi. And again, this week the focus is on the connection and the space between. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.